Welcome back to Combust Astrology. My name's Liv. Let's actually get into this full moon video. The full moon will be in Gemini. It is December 15th, 4:01 a.m. I guess that's Sunday. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the chart. What do we have? So here's the full moon. In case you don't know, it's the sun and the moon opposing each other. We have Jupiter conjunct the moon 7 degrees. I'm going to count it. And we have a trine to Venus. Okay. Squaring new Neptune. I made a video about that on TikTok and Instagram. Go ahead and check those out. And then Uranus squaring. I'm not going to do the midheaven in conjunct the sun. These have been opposing. Okay. Okay, I got it. It's come to me. All right. What's the full moon? Full moon is when the culmination of the seeds you planted during the new moon are coming to fruition. When the new moon was in Sag, we saw a culmination of energy that was really wanting to start anew, and I had stated that it's best to start getting yourself antiquated with the future that you want. To be a person that's antiquated with the future that you want, it's to be it now. I've been doing a lot of learning during this period of time as the new moon happened in my 8th house over my Sag placements, and I thought I should chill and take things in passively, not too aggressive with learning. And something that I've re-flourished from my younger years was the idea of manifesting, right? And not in anything crazy. There's a guy called Neuro Knowledge that I kind of watched, and I brushed up on some of the Know Thyself podcasts. But why am I bringing this up? It's because when you are thinking of the idea, faking it till you make it, it really is doing something that you don't think about. And that's putting your mental in a state that wants to accept that future by saying you have it. It's very difficult to do that at times for a lot of people. But this is why I'm relating it back to astrology. Jupiterians, Sagittarius people, they come across as lucky, right? Now, Jupiter is the empire. It has everything it wants. We can put that mythological point of view on top of it. But when I look at it practically, the reason why Sag people are so lucky like that is because, genuinely speaking, they live in their delusion, right? And we know that Jupiter and Pisces kind of co-rule Sag, right? People are going to argue over this, whatever. But they rule their delusion, meaning like the Jupiter is like, yeah, we can definitely go about that. It's so optimistic. It's the glass is half empty, and Pisces is like, why not? But it's why not in a way that lets them completely embody that. To be one with yourself, to be able to connect at the most centralized part of who you are is to accept both of yourself, right? Oh yeah, this is coming in hot. Okay. So to accept both of who you are, you have to look at your masculine, feminine, yin yang, whatever you want to call it, right? When you look at this chart, you have a full moon, and then you have, in a sense, not another full moon, but you have a very big contrast here, very big polarities. Jupiter and Pisces are both crazy in the way that they believe anything can happen. When you have the new moon, it's saying that I want to put in the actual belief and faith when the moon was here in Sag to say it can happen. When you get the full moon, it's seeing what has actually played out and what it is that I can do to change that around. So I like this full moon because it's going to show you all the different possibilities that have kind of shown itself and which one are you going to take. Now, I will say it might be a lot because it's conjunct Jupiter still to me. And that's like strong. That might make you a lot of crazy because right now you're open. You're open because when we were trying to do this whole manifesting or whatever, Mercury was retrograded conjunct to all three, both of these, right? And during that period of time, it was like, let's really obsess over this one thing. And now it's happened. Now the thing you really wanted to happen has started showing itself, but you're freaking out because you didn't realize that the ability to connect is not that hard. And I will always tell my clients that have Sag this, I'm like, you can time travel. You don't even realize it, but you can time travel. I am so convinced that Sagittarius people get to where they're at because Jupiter being like, we can do it, and Pisces being like, just delulu about it, it creates time traveling, meaning 0 to 100 can happen overnight. Like a Jupiter to sorry, like Jupiter Sag person will go from saying I want this to happen and it'll start happening, and at times they could be their own downfall because then they'll live in that state so much that they don't come back to reality. And that's where I feel that we start to look at Saturn and how it plays a role in this. Saturn will square Jupiter here. And so it'll ask you to still pick one, right? It's going to require that you can actually commit to one of the things and not just have a million bajillion ideas because you've opened the floodgates from that new moon and now you're being shown all those possibilities during this full moon. You do have to still pick. Now, if I go back to that accepting both versions of you, as I said, masculine and feminine, Mars and Venus are opposing each other. I've had a few Aquarius people that I know, a few clients, for whatever reason, around the conjunction of, well, we can talk about it, but the Pluto Venus conjunction, whether it was their sun, their own Venus, or their Mars, they ended up having to make very difficult decisions in relationships. And for whatever reason, it either ended the situation drastically or they got physically hurt. And I looked at that to be the Pluto and Venus conjuncting because it's a power struggle, and the Uranus trying to have a very immediate reaction might not be the best. But when Mars here is opposing that, you have to look within yourself to say, what can I do that is what I truly want, which would be Venus, and what makes me unique? And then where am I being kind of held and or where am I giving away my power with Pluto in Aquarius? And now how can I reposition myself to look better for myself, to go after the goals I desire? From this massive let go, what can I get from that? And while this is happening to you mentally, subconsciously, the full moon is kind of showing you from the new moon, because a lot of people will say things and they're not really ready for the outcome of what it is that they're saying, and they're just blabbing. But what you don't realize is if you're truly, as all of us are, there is no race, religion, gender discrepancies onto this spiritual like life. You're connected. And so when you're talking, no matter what it is, you're putting it out there to receive it. The universe, like is not good or evil. There is no good or evil. Oh God, that's going to get into a different conversation, but it's just reception, right? And even says that in the Bible, like God does not discriminate. So you are connecting to the divine. It's whatever you're saying is going to happen. Oh, you want to make $1,000? We're gonna find you $1,000. Oh, you want your car to break down because you heard a noise, and so you're immediately assuming it's gonna break down and cost you $1,000? Bet. Go get a new transmission or whatever. That's how this works. So I like Saturn here in this chart because it's really asking you like, hey, let's pick one, right? And really just looking at yourself. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Liv. This has been Combust Astrology. Take care.